And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered in multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old Friday. Week 9 just kicked off last night with Thursday Night Football, Jets at the Colts. And man, oh man, truly unfortunate for Mike White getting knocked out of the game. Dang. And he was just he just went on that touchdown drive and then he gets injured, tied the game up 7-7, looked good on that touchdown drive and then gets knocked out of the game. Josh Johnson has to come in, and he did okay when they were getting blown out 41-10, and then he came back a little bit, but I mean that's kind of garbage time at that point. So we'll break down that game. Colts finally get a win against the bad team. Did that change our mind on the Colts? No. Was the offense doing what the offense should have been doing the entire season? Yes, but we'll break all that down when we get to the game. We got to make our official Week 9 picks. We predicted and reacted to the Week 9 lines yesterday. Didn't find any extraordinary value. Vegas is kind of putting it exactly where it needs to be this weekend. I don't know what it is, folks, but when I was looking at all these games, I really just was like, I like this, and I like this, and I like this, and I like this, and I like that, I like that, I like that. Folks, we are doing a first ever 11 picks, folks. We've got 11 picks coming at y'all, all official. So if we go over 11, we're not going to be like, well, this was a bonus pick, anything like that. No. We are going 11 official live and die bets this week, folks, because there's just something about how this week has been going. It's been a crazy week of storylines this week, and we've only gotten one game so far, so I don't know what it is. The spread mixed with the stories, mixed with the national media attention, mixed on with what the fans are kind of saying. There's just something about this week, folks, that I'm like, I think I'm loving it all, folks. I think I'm truly loving it all. So we've got 11 official picks coming at you, and we got to break down the NBA from last night as well and do our first official NBA power rankings of the year. So a packed show. So let's start it up, shall we? Let's put 10 minutes on the clock here and get our official NBA Daily 10 in. Next 10 minutes of uninterrupted basketball talk of what just happened yesterday in the NBA. 10 minutes on the clock, and the 10 minutes start right now. Alrighty, in the NBA, not a lot of games on last night, but still some solid action. So let's kick it off here with the 76ers at the Pistons. 76ers get the big old win here, 109-98, fantastic. 76ers looking absolutely fantastic, still out here, folks, and we're going to do our power rankings at the end, and we love the 76ers. But here we go, Seth Curry, 23 points, again, 4 of 8 from 3, and Seth Curry has just been so consistent so far this season, and he was really consistent, at the back end of last season as well, picking up exactly where he left off, and he's a huge reason why this 76ers team is out to this hot start. Once again, without Tobias Harris, no Danny Green either, and no problem. Seth Curry, 23 points. Tyrese Maxey at the 1, 20 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Folks, this kid is killing it here, folks. They don't even need Ben Simmons. Tyrese Maxey is filling in exactly how we needed to be for this team to be successful this year, and that's exactly what he's doing. So big shout out to Tyrese Maxey. Joel Embiid doing Joel Embiid things, 19 points, 9 rebounds. Matisse Thybulle filling in for Tobias Harris at the 4, 5 points on 7 shots, not great. Shake Milton filling in for Danny Green at the 3, fantastic, 16 points, 5 assists, 8 rebounds, way better than what we get by Danny Green on a nightly basis. And we know Danny Green's got great defense, but Shake Milton was a plus 13 on the floor, the best plus minus of all the starters, and he played 33 minutes. I mean, truly give that man credit. Another reason why we love the 76ers team is because they are deep, folks. They have Matisse Thybulle, Shake Milton in the starting lineup here, and they don't miss a beat. Oh, and did we mention they still have Georges Niang coming off the bench, who put up 14 points and 7 rebounds? Didn't shoot the best, 3 of 10 from 3, but was a plus 18 on the floor. So this is a deep team. Oh, and did we forget they've got Andre Drummond, 8 points and 10 rebounds in 17 minutes. This is a deep team. Oh, and did we mention that Furkan Korkmaz didn't even play last night? Once again, a deep as heck team. I love the 76ers, folks, and don't be surprised if you see them high at the top of our power rankings. We're not going to spoil anymore, but watch out for them in a couple of minutes. All right, they beat the Pistons. Not a hard opponent. I mean, best player, Jeremy Grant, 27 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds. He did great, but other than that, nothing great. Sadiq Bey, 7 points. Cade Cunningham had 18 points and 10 rebounds and 4 assists. He had a good night as well. Unfortunately, they need a little bit more than that overall, because then the third highest leading scorer was Kelly Olynyk off the bench with 11 points. I mean, we're not going to get it done there like this with the Pistons, so the Pistons lose. Don't even put up 100 points. Not good. But 76ers, folks, sheesh, man, oh man, are they good. Alrighty, next game up here is the Jazz at the Hawks, and the Jazz blow them out 116-98 out here. Jordan Clarkson off the bench doing Jordan Clarkson things. 30 points on 19 shots. He led the team in shot attempts, folks. Classic. Mike Conley at the one. No Donovan Mitchell here last night for the Jazz, so Joe Ingles fills in for him. 19 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. Mike Conley, 13 points, 11 assists. Rudy Gobert, 13 points, 15 rebounds. Folks, this man is a monster on the glass, like we know. And then Bogdanovich, 23 points, 5 rebounds, all real good there. And like we said, the Jordan Clarkson 30-piece off the bench, fantastic. Hassan Whiteside off the bench in only 13 minutes, 2 points but 7 rebounds. Once again, we like the bench players here of the Jazz. Another pretty solid deep team, and they win without Donovan Mitchell. And then for this Hawks team, Trae Young, 21 points, 7 assists, a solid outing, 0-4 from 3, not the greatest. Bogdanovich, both Bogdanoviches in the same game. It should have been a 3-point explosion. The other Bogdanovich got it done. Bogdanovich did not. 8 points, 2 of 4 from the 3, a little light on what we usually need to expect from Bogdanovich. Clint Capella, 13 points, 10 rebounds. John Collins, 13 points. DeAndre Hunter, 14 points. Solid production by the starters. The bench was very light. Lou Williams couldn't get it started. 5 points on 8 shots. Cam Reddish, 4 points on 6 shots. Danilo Gallinari, 6 points on 4 shots. Kevin Huerter, 6 points on 9 shots. They just could not get that bench scoring, and that was really the main difference here between the Jazz and the Hawks. Jazz had the bench scoring. Hawks didn't. Hawks get blown out by 18. All right, then we get to the Celtics at the Heat, and man, oh man, we may have to take a little bit of a break from betting in the NBA. We just started 2 days ago, and now we may have to kind of take a couple of days off here to get kind of set here. I thought we had our finger on the pulse in the NBA. Not so much. We've had 4 picks over the last 2 nights, and we had gone 0-4, folks. We took the Heat -6 last night. They don't even win. They don't even put up more than 80 points, folks. They lose 95-78. A real bad second quarter by this Heat team. They only put up 9 points in the second quarter. They got outscored 33-9 in the second quarter, and that was really why they lost. They outscored the Celtics 24-18 in quarter 1. They both put up 24 points in quarter number 3, and the Heat outscored the Celtics 21-20 in the fourth quarter. So they won every quarter, but the quarter that they lost was a big old loss, getting outscored 33-9. So little bit of a stall there in the second quarter by this Heat team. Kyle Lowry, 6 points on 22% shooting. Duncan Robinson, 16 points, and he was the second leading scorer on the squad, and we know that is a major red flag if Duncan Robinson is the second leading scorer, because that means Jimmy Butler's probably a little light scoring. That means Bam Adebayo's a little light scoring, and that definitely means that Tyler Hero is light scoring, and that's exactly what it was. Tyler Hero, 6 points, 7 rebounds, 0-4 from 3, 27% on 11 shots. All right, we're just going to kind of chalk this one up as a bad game by Tyler Hero, not kind of panic and start selling this Heat team. But hopefully Tyler Hero, this is not anything that is going to be consistent here, because he's been fantastic the first other 6, 7, 8 games that this Heat team has played. Jimmy Butler led the team in scoring, 20 points, 0-4 from the 3. Bam Adebayo down low, 13.7 rebounds. PJ Tucker, 3 points, but he took 6 shots this game. Unfortunate. So just not the offense for the Heat tonight, or last night I should say, and they lose to the Celtics. Now, what did the Celtics do good? We got Aaron Nesmith, 13 points off the bench. That's exactly what we want. Aaron Nesmith, Peyton Pritchard to get their production up. Peyton Pritchard still only 2 minutes off the bench, but Aaron Nesmith, we're making slow steps right here. We need scores from other pieces besides Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Yes, they're two superstars, and they can still take the bulk of the shots, but we need production and offense and just threats other than the two superstars on the floor. So they got really good bench production last night. Romeo Langford off the bench, 12 points. Dennis Schroeder off the bench, 14 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Finally, Dennis Schroeder starting to kind of be a huge impact for the Celtics team. And like we just said, Aaron Nesmith, 13 points and 3 rebounds. I will definitely take that. Hopefully this is a small step of what's to come for the Celtics team as we progress through the season. And then Jaylen Brown, 17 points. Jason Tatum only had 10 points, 8 rebounds, and they were still able to get the win. Once again, if your main superstars are not putting up the points, you need to rely on everybody else, and that's what we got last night. There's the sneeze, jeez. So we'll see what the Celtics team is all about. They still only put up 95 points. I don't think this is really anything that we should start buying into the Celtics. I think it was just an off night by the Heat. I mean, it happens. It's the NBA, folks. We're playing 82 games. Not everybody's going to be on point 82 straight games. So I'm not going to be buying the Celtics off of this win, and we're not going to be selling the Heat off of this loss, but we will keep a little bit of a closer eye on the Celtics. This is what I want to start to see. Everybody getting production, not just Tatum going for 30, Brown going for 30, and trying to hope for a win because of that. But we'll see how they continue to progress. All right, then we get to the Rockets at the Suns. Big win here for the Suns, 123-111. Rockets still nothing great here. Still no Daniel Tice, and they're having the best games. Let me quickly, I want to see if I can bring this up quickly, folks. Let me see. I want to say that these past 2-3 games without Daniel Tice, the Rockets have put up the most points. I mean, get Daniel Tice out of Houston, please. We didn't even like him with the Celtics last year, and they didn't have anybody kind of behind Daniel Tice to really kind of take over and be the guy. Let me see if I can bring up this stat quickly. I don't even want to spend that much time on it. Sorry, too much time. I really don't even want to be doing this, but we already put it out there, and I gotta see what's up now. Schedules and results. Alrighty, so they put up 106 points game 1. 124 points game 2. That was with Daniel Tice. 97, 106. And then these last games, 111, 117. So without Daniel Tice, they put up their 2 of 3 highest scoring games. So get Daniel Tice out of the game, please. Please. Daniel Tice is not good. Unfortunate. But Christian Wood, 18 points, 15 rebounds. Kevin Porter Jr., 20 points, 6 assists. I mean, this Rockets team, everybody in the starting lineup got it done, folks. Jalen Green, 16 points. Alperen Sengun, who's filling in for Daniel Tice, 10 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Not bad. He was a minus 19 on the floor, so definitely got to clean it up, but he's a rookie, folks. Second start here. So I think they need to start not having Daniel Tice. That's the overall message here. And then Eric Gordon off the bench, 12 points. So Rockets, they put up the points. It's just unfortunate they face the Suns, who have a little bit of a more lethal firepower offensively. And that is our 10 minutes, but we got more stuff to talk about, so we got to go past 10 minutes here. Devin Booker, 27 points, led the team in scoring for the Suns, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Chris Paul, 9 points, 13 assists, 5 steals, 2 blocks, 5 rebounds. Fantastic by CP3. And then DeAndre Ayton, 16 points, 11 rebounds. McCall Bridges, 16 points. And then off the bench, folks, once again, the Suns really need the bench. They've got a lot of great scorers on the bench, and they need them to kind of step it up a little bit more consistently, like we just saw last night. Cameron Johnson, 12 points. Landry Shamet, 19 points. JaVale McGee, 11 points, 5 assists off the bench. So that was really why this Suns team won this game, was because of their bench production. Starters doing what the starters do on a nightly basis, and bench helps out, and they win by 12. All right, and then the last game of the night, the Thunder at the Lakers, and the Lakers had this one, but then blew it in the back half of this game and lose 107-104. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with a deep three-pointer in the fourth quarter that really just kind of elevated the Thunder to the win and kind of put the game out of reach right there, and it was like from the logo, absolutely deep. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 28 points, 6 assists, 4 of 7 from 3, and really hit the game clincher. Luguentz Dort, second leading scorer, a good game by Luguentz Dort, but not efficient. 17 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, all good, but 3 of 11 from 3, 28% on 14 shots. Oog. And then what else do we get here by the Thunder team? Anything good? Darius Bazley, 14 points. Derek Favors at the 5, 10 points, 11 rebounds. Off the bench, Ty Jerome, 14 points, and Kenrich Williams, 13 points and 8 rebounds as well. And then for the Lakers, no LeBron, so DeAndre Jordan to the 5, Anthony Davis finally saying, oh, no LeBron, I can play the 4 again, and AD at the 4, 29 points, 18 rebounds, fantastic. Russell Westbrook, 27 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, only 4 turnovers, and he was a +6 on the floor in 34 minutes. Anthony Davis was a -14 in 38 minutes, so once again, I think everybody's getting kind of bogged down with the first couple of games of Russell Westbrook with this Lakers team that was really kind of pathetic. But now these last 4 or 5 games, he's really been solid right here. He's getting points, assists, rebounds like Russell Wilson naturally does, cutting down on the turnovers, and it's still being a positive impact on the floor. And people are still banging on Russell Westbrook. It's like we can change our narratives and opinions and thoughts as we progress through the season, but most of the people in the national media, they have one belief and then they hold on to it. Doesn't matter what they do, they still staple that kind of boilerplate take on everything. Russell Westbrook is getting it done here. Yes, he's shooting the ball way too much. 23 shots. Russell Westbrook should not be taking the most shots on this team. Never. But he's still getting it done, and the production is still positive. So we really can't knock Russell Westbrook too much out here. And if they had LeBron on the floor, they probably win. Carmelo Anthony, 21 points, 6 rebounds off the bench. He's continuing his really good, season so far. And then the other role players right here, Avery Bradley at the 2, 9 points. DeAndre Jordan at the 5, only 1 point. And then Ken Bazemore, only 2 points on 4 shots. So we just need, really once Malik Monk gets into this and we have Kendrick Nunn really kind of consistently playing. I don't know why he's not playing. I don't think he's injured. I don't know what's going on with Kendrick Nunn. But once we get Malik Monk and Kendrick Nunn, those 2 guards getting it done, this is going to be a really good Lakers team, but they need to incorporate Malik Monk a little bit more into the offense. He's played 13 minutes last night, only took 3 shots. I would like to see his shots elevated to like 7 to 10. Same thing with Kendrick Nunn when he gets, playing here for the Lakers. So, this Lakers team off not to the greatest start, but no LeBron last night, and they've got some nice potential bench pieces that can get real great scoring production out of them. So we'll see how this Lakers team progresses, but an unfortunate loss again to the Thunder here, blowing leads in 2 games against them so far this season. Not the best look. All right, so those are all the games from the NBA from last night. Let's see if we have anything interesting on tap tonight. Nets at Pistons. We don't care. It's Pistons. Spurs at Magic. We'll see what the Magic got. Grizzlies at Wizards. Should be a good one. Both 5-3. Cavs, Raptors. All righty. We'll see what both these teams are truly made of. Cavs are kind of up and coming, and the Raptors are trying to recapture the magic that they had on that kind of championship run. We'll see. Knicks, Bucks, 7:30 on ESPN. That should be a real good one. Clippers, Timberwolves, Pelicans, Warriors at 10 o'clock on ESPN. I don't think that's going to be great. The Pelicans are nothing great, unfortunately. Pacers, Blazers. Pacers block. Blazers, we don't even know what they are this season. And then Hornets, Kings. So not the best action. And once again, we are going to stay away from taking any action tonight in the NBA because we need to kind of get everything refigured out a little bit. Alrighty, one final thing to do here before we move off of the NBA for today, and that is to unveil our first power rankings of the season, folks. I have the power rankings up here, but don't get crazy, folks. This is where we left off last season. So just for, laughs and giggles, let's kind of say what our power rankings were at the end of last season, and we'll unveil our new ones this year. So the last time we updated our power rankings last season, this was what it was. Blazers at 10, Knicks at 9, Lakers at 8, Nets at 7, Clippers at 6, Suns at 5, Jazz at 4, Nuggets at 3, 76ers at 2, and the Bucks at 1. What has changed? What has changed over the last year? Let's start getting into that. So here we go. First edition of the power rankings for this season in the NBA, and the number 10 team is going to be the Toronto Raptors, folks. I'm loving what Nick Nurse is doing here with this young squad right here. All tier 2 talent, Nick Nurse coaching them up and being absolutely fantastic. OG Anunoby having one of his best seasons so far. Precious Achiuwa getting it done down low. We got Gary Trent Jr., who's kind of paying off. We've kind of said that, going back to last season, the trade for Gary Trent Jr. really didn't make that much sense to us, but now it seems like the Raptors are truly winning the trade now that both of these kind of new players in that trade are kind of, getting a fresh start on this team. So Gary Trent Jr., defense, offense, getting it done, and they're kind of doing it without Pascal Siakam so far. So once they get him back, it's going to be great. Malachi Flynn's doing really solid as well. Fred VanVleet getting it done at the point guard position, scoring, assisting, all that. So I'm loving what this Raptors team is doing so far early on this season. They're 6-3, and we give a lot of credit to Nick Nurse. So welcome to the top 10 Toronto Raptors. All right, number 9 team, we are going to go the Grizzlies. All right, no more Jonas Valanciunas, but Steven Adams is stepping in and kind of doing great. He's getting it done down low. They don't really look for him to score the ball, so that just frees up kind of John Morant and their other outside shooters a little bit more. With Valanciunas, he was a little bit ball dominant. He could go for like 15 and 15 any given night here, but Steven Adams, he doesn't even really worry about scoring. You get him the ball down low, he'll score, but he doesn't need the ball in his hands at the 5, and I think that frees up this Grizzlies team overall. So Jaren Jackson Jr., Brandon Clark, Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, they've got shooters on this squad, and like we said, Steven Adams from down low, and obviously John Morant still kind of getting it done. So overall, this Grizzlies team not really missing that much of a step here, losing kind of their big 5 last season and replacing them with Steven Adams, a real solid kind of tier 2 big. So Grizzlies at 9. All right, new number 8 team is actually not a new team. We're keeping the Lakers right here at number 8. Obviously, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, always so gosh dang good. I really think Russell Westbrook is starting to really kind of get acclimated to this Lakers team and, still getting it done, a positive impact. We just saw it last night, a +6 on the floor. You got to give Russell Westbrook credit when he deserves it. Yes, there's always that kind of knock that he always goes too wild and only has one speed. And yes, it does get him in bad situations some of the time, but it also gives you some great performances some other times. So we can be honest here on Russell Westbrook, but I don't think he deserves just the constant hate that he gets, and the national media is truly ramping it up this season. Now that you're playing with LeBron, everything gets amplified, and that kind of narrative that Russell Westbrook is trash gets amplified as well, and I don't think it should be amplified that much. Now LeBron James is going to be out for a little bit of some rectum, injury, something like that. So they'll probably go down when we do this. We'll do this every Friday now that we've kind of established today. We'll do our power rankings every Friday. So the Lakers may go down. I don't really see this Lakers team winning that much without LeBron James. But Carmelo Anthony has been great. He's been so consistent, and that's the biggest thing that they just need from Carmelo, the consistent reliability coming off the bench. And so far, Carmelo Anthony's doing that to a T. Anthony Davis, always great as well. And like I said, if they can get Kendrick Nunn and Malik Monk consistent 10-plus point and like 3 to 4 assists, given their position, whether they're in the starting lineup, I really think one of those two should be in the starting lineup at the 2. Or if they're coming off the bench, we need them to get us consistent production. And if they do that, this is going to be a really, really great team in this league when they're fully healthy. So we'll see how they progress in the season, but we're going to put the Lakers here at number 8. Alrighty, new number 17, and wow, not even new number 17. We're keeping the Nets here at number 7. Kevin Durant, James Harden. I really think that's all we have to say about this team. Joe Harris is kind of not doing as great as he was last season. Still need to kind of get him acclimated, and especially without Kyrie Irving, Joe Harris's production and kind of role on the floor really should be increased. He really should be kind of the number 3 here for this Nets team. So once they get Joe Harris acclimated back in it, confident, and he's hitting his three at like a 40%, 45% clip. We're going to be kind of taking off on this Nets team. I don't really love their bigs. Lamarcus Aldridge coming off the bench, we think is absolutely fantastic. We just don't know how long it's going to keep up. 15 years in the league. But yeah, so far Lamarcus Aldridge is getting it done for them. But then their other bigs of Blake Griffin and Nicholas Claxton, you're not going to win a championship with those as your primary bigs. So we'll see how they do. But so far they're getting it done. So 5-3, we'll leave them at number 7 for now. Alrighty, new number 6 team, definitely not the Clippers anymore. Paul George is having a great season, but that's all they have on that team. So we shout out Paul George, can't shout out the Clippers. But new number 6 team here is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks, folks. I'm loving this Bucks team. Yes, they haven't been fully healthy over the last couple of games, so that's why they're only 4-4. But this is a great team with Brook Lopez at the 5, Drew Holiday at the 1. That's who they've been missing these last couple of games, but you've still got, obviously, Giannis and Chris Middleton, and what makes the addition of Grayson Allen so gosh dang good is that you don't need Chris Middleton to kind of be the three-point shooter and secondary primary ball scorer as well. So the addition of Grayson Allen just kind of frees up Chris Middleton a little bit more, and we know Chris Middleton's a little bit of hit and miss. He was truly hitting in the playoffs and in the finals, so we give him credit, but during the regular season and usually for the most part in the playoffs as well, he had one great playoff performance, so we're hoping that he keeps it up as his career progresses for Chris Middleton. We're just not 100% sure it will, but Grayson Allen kind of lightens the load for him. Dante DiVincenzo, and then we still have, who am I looking for here? Dante DiVincenzo, one more? I thought there was one more player I wanted to shout out here. Pat Connaughton, yes. Pat Connaughton, Dante DiVincenzo, and then Grayson Allen. I mean, there's scores on this team now, and Grayson Allen in the starting lineup. I'm loving it. Giannis doing Giannis things. They just need to be 100% healthy, and when they are, this is a great team, folks. They're deep. They've got like 3 solid bench players that can give us some points, so I'm loving the Bucks, folks. Don't kind of get afraid with their 4-4 record. They just have not been healthy this season, but they're good, folks. That's a good-ass team. Bucks at 6. All right, new number 7 team, we're going to go, new number 5 team, we're going to go the Jazz. All righty. Jazz out here, 7-1, looking good. They're deep as heck. Joe Ingles, Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench. Fantastic. And Hassan Whiteside at the 5 as well. I mean, that's a really good kind of big 3 coming off the bench for kind of tier 2 off the bench. I'm loving it. And then obviously Mike Conley and Bogdanovich and Donovan Mitchell, basically the same team that was last season for the Jazz, and they were always good. We still don't really like Jordan Clarkson taking like the most shots off the bench and kind of being that. I really, with Joe Ingles and Hassan Whiteside, there's more kind of flexibility off the bench of, pick and rolls and getting Hassan Whiteside rolling to the basket and getting Joe Ingles 3-point looks, but Jordan Clarkson does what Jordan Clarkson does. It's good. It results into wins and it results into points, so we can't knock it too much. We just don't like it 100%. And then Rudy Gobert, I mean, I think he's averaging like 17 rebounds a game, folks, which is just absolutely stupid. So Rudy Gobert is still getting it done down low. This team is basically what it was last season with a little bit extra loaded off the bench. So Jazz, they're great. Obviously, they're at number 5. All right, new number 4 team. We're going to go with the Warriors here, folks. Obviously, Steph Curry doing absolutely fantastic. But the addition here of Jordan Poole and the emergence of Jordan Poole out here, sheesh. And now they still have Klay Thompson, who's not back quite yet from his injury. And once they get that man back, forget about it. Am I right? And then Andrew Wiggins, so consistent again this season. So gosh dang consistent. Draymond Green, at the 4, doing Draymond Green things. Having kind of Kevon Looney down low, that's fine. James Wiseman not ready to kind of come back yet, so that's really was going to be interesting once they kind of get James Wiseman back. How good is he? He wasn't really good last season, so the 5 here for this Warriors team is still a little bit of a question mark, but overall the outside shooters are getting it done because as long as you have Steph Curry, you get it done. And let's also shout out Namaja Jellica, kind of the other forward, another nice beef down low that kind of helps out this Warriors team as well. So they're getting it done. They're 6-1. They're not losing. Fantastic Warriors with Steph Curry, and once they get Klay Thompson back, this Warriors team will probably officially be back to their kind of golden era. So Warriors at 4. All right, number 3, we're going to go the Chicago Bulls. Man, oh man, what a great 4. What a great elite 4 that this Bulls team has. And ever since they moved DeMar DeRozan to the 4 in the lineup, he's been going absolutely manic. 30-plus points every single game without hesitation. Looking great, efficient as heck. So the main 4 of Lonzo Ball and Zach LaVine and Vucevic and DeMar DeRozan, I mean, sheesh. The bench is a little lackluster. They have, or could potentially be a little lackluster. They haven't been so bad. Alex Caruso's okay. Learned a lot from playing with LeBron, so you bring over that experience and all that. Derrick Jones Jr. is finally starting to kind of get some good minutes here off the bench here, which we absolutely love. Kobe White has some good potential as well. So the main 4 for this Bulls team is what we love. They could get a little bit in trouble with their bench as the season progresses, but I mean, if you've got this main core 4 right here, you're going to be in all these games. So the Bulls 6-2 so far, looking really good, and I just really can't say enough of that about that core 4 and how great and just how great DeMar DeRozan is fitting into this offense. First year here, no problem. Didn't kind of had that couple of games at the end of last season after the trade deadline when all those pieces got here, and he's kind of the best player on this team. Are we crazy for saying that? I don't know, folks, but I'm loving what the Bulls are selling us here and what we're getting from them. Bulls at number 3. Alrighty, number 2 team, we're going to go the Miami Heat, folks. Don't get us started talking about this Heat team because we could go all day. Absolutely fantastic. Kyle Lowry at the 1, a true point guard out here who can score, but is looking to move the ball. You get Jimmy Butler who can be more aggressive since, he doesn't have to kind of be ball dominant because they have a true point guard in Kyle Lowry, so that just frees up Jimmy Butler to get it done. We get Bam Adebayo down low, who's being a little bit more aggressive this season, what the Heat have been kind of crying and clamoring for the last 2 years for Bam Adebayo to do, and it's finally getting going. And then the addition of the big beef, PJ Tucker and Markieff Morris. PJ Tucker in the starting lineup, Markieff Morris coming off the bench. They could both score, but that's not their primary function, and it doesn't need to be their primary function because, once again, you got Jimmy Butler to score, you've got Bam Adebayo to score down low, you've got Kyle Lowry to score at the 1, and then you've got a great Tyler Hero who's scoring great off the bench here. So you've got the enforcers, you've got the facilitators, you've got the leaders, you've got the coach, you've got everything right here for this Heat team, and they're absolutely getting it done. Duncan Robinson, we don't love him in the starting lineup, but they're winning with them, so we're not going to knock him too hard. But overall, we're loving really everything about this Heat team. A little bit of a lackluster game overall last night against the Celtics, but that's what teams do. They have a little bit of an up and down game. It's an 82 game season. We're not going to fret off of them getting a little dominated by the Celtics. So Heat at number 2, and then our number 1 team, we're going to go the 76ers, folks. Man, oh man, what a great squad over here. No Ben Simmons, absolutely no problem because of mother-loving Tyrese Maxey, folks. He's averaging 14 points and 4 assists. I mean, how great is that, folks? Second year here, and he's facilitating this floor full of really great, talented players, and he's running the floor to execution, folks. Fantastic. Tyrese Maxey, cannot speak highly enough about him. And then let's talk about the other starters. Seth Curry, who's shooting 53% from 3. How absolutely immaculate. I don't even think that's the best. I think there's one other player shooting a little bit better of a percentage than Seth Curry is. But how great is 53%? I mean, he's getting it done. 20 points a game, no big deal. We still have, obviously Joel Embiid down low. Fantastic, can spread the floor, stretch the floor, all of that. Tobias Harris, once again, they're great shooters. So once again, we've got 2 great shooters with the ball facilitator and a big beef down low. And then you got Danny Green at the 3, who plays great defense and kind of pops off 4, 5, 6 games a year where the 3 is just absolutely falling. Other than that, he's just a little bit of a good defender out there. But they're not just their starting lineup, folks. This bench, folks. Andre Drummond, they still got off the bench. How great is that? They've barely been utilizing him. Furkan Korkmaz, who can step up in the starting lineup that we saw like 2 games ago to get the win. No problem. And then who else we get? Matisse Thybulle, but then Georges Niang and Shake Milton. Yes. Georges Niang, what an addition here off the bench, and Shake Milton still getting it done. So they've got scorers, they've got beef, they've got defenders, they've got facilitators, they've got everything needed for the 76ers team to continue to be great. I think they're first in the East. Yeah, first in the East, 7-2. Absolutely fantastic. And it's really all put together by Tyrese Maxey, because if they have to, filling in for the role of Ben Simmons, if you move kind of Seth Curry to the 1, then he's kind of a more facilitator, but, he just really wants to score. He can hit the 3, a little bit of a knockoff pace than, his brother Steph Curry, but still a great pace. Obviously, as we said, 53%. I mean, that is absolutely fantastic. Steph Curry is not doing that, so it's just an absolutely great team all around. I'm loving the 76ers team, and we are keeping the 76ers, or we will make the 76ers at number 1. So this is our power rankings for the NBA, folks. The first of the season. Raptors at 10, Grizzlies at 9, Lakers at 8, Nets at 7, Bucks at 6, Jazz at 5, Warriors at 4, Bulls at 3, Heat at 2, and the 76ers at 1, folks. Alrighty, that is all the NBA that we have time for. 10 minutes turned into 36. Classic, right? Alrighty, so that's the NBA, folks. First power rankings. We're back live next week, next Friday, where we update our power rankings, who's going to rise and who's going to fall here. Hopefully nobody can overthrow the 76ers and the Heat, because it's just great watching both of those teams play basketball, folks. It's absolutely fantastic. Alrighty, before we get to the Thursday night game last night in the NFL, let's quickly recap some stories that have kind of been breaking over the last kind of 24 hours in the last day. So obviously the big news here, OBJ officially going to be released here by the Browns. He's going to kind of go to the waivers first, and then if he clears the waivers, then he can go wherever he wants. I believe they're still in the process of putting him on the waivers, but he is officially out of Cleveland. No more playing there. So we get the team got a text from Beckham's rep on Sunday night asking for a trade. Still, Beckham had been fine in the building, so the social media blow-up blindsided the team. Browns simply couldn't find anyone to take OBJ's contract, so that's kind of what they're doing here. That's why they didn't trade him. Nobody wanted to take their contract. They're kind of rearranging his contract, so the contract that teams have to take once he comes off waivers is a little bit lower. They're like restructuring his contract and kind of just paying him out. And that's in his contract, so it's not like any shady thing going on. It's like right into his contract, and they're just making it easier for OBJ to get picked up. Cleveland did make calls before LeBron James took to social media and his dad took to social media releasing that video. There was some hopes that one positive from those posts might be a second wave of interest Tuesday. That didn't happen. Again, there was only one source called a, quote, very short discussion between the Saints and the Browns. So we'll see what happens next for OBJ. I think I have the waiver order up. The waiver order, it was like Texans had the first crack at him, then the Dolphins at number 2. Let me see if I can bring it up quickly here. I just saw it right before we went live. OBJ's no longer with the Browns, and he's going to be free to go anywhere else. And, now we've got another big wide receiver, Deshaun Jackson, OBJ. Take your pick. Who's going to land these two great players? And, will they be able to kind of turn around the squads that they go to, or kind of keep making whatever squad they go to like championship contenders? So we'll see what happens. And here we go, the waiver order. Lions at 1, Dolphins at 2, Texans 3, Jags 4, Jets 5, Giants 6, Washington 7, Eagles 8, Seahawks 9, and the Bears at number 10 in the waiver order. So they have the first crack at getting OBJ. And we'll see if he kind of goes unclaimed. If he goes unclaimed, then he's free to sign wherever he wants. Deshaun Jackson went unclaimed. He can sign wherever he wants. So we'll see what's up. And now we have another breaking tweet here for the Browns. Let's read this and see what we get. Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski told reporters he hasn't talked to OBJ since Sunday, but he hopes to reach out at some point saying, quote, "We're moving on and we have to move on. It's disappointing, unfortunate how it all went down. I wish him well." So Kevin Stefanski seems to be a class act there. So, alrighty, so OBJ, he's out, folks. Free to go wherever he wants. And now let's read the statement from the Browns general manager, Andrew Berry, on the release of OBJ. He says, quote, "After careful consideration, internal discussions, and conversations with Odell and his representation, we've determined that it is in the best interest of all parties involved that Odell no longer play for the Cleveland Browns. We appreciate all his efforts and contributions while in Cleveland, but we've just reached a point where it is best that we move on forward as a team without Odell. We are finalizing the process of granting Odell his release, and we wish him well as he continues his career." So OBJ, no longer a Brown, can basically go wherever he wants if he can go unclaimed on the waivers. But now, obviously, the big story in the national media is, Baker Mayfield is trash. He forced OBJ out. OBJ's so gosh dang good and all that. But obviously, he hasn't had great success. Well, he's had really good success, I guess. With the Giants' first 3 seasons, 1,300 yards, 1,400 yards, 1,300 yards, and then, 300 yards in 2017 because he got injured. And then 2018, his last season with the Jets, still had 1,000 yards. And his first season with the Browns, 1,000 yards, and we've seen his kind of production diminish. But in 2020, he only played 7 games. And then this season, only started 6 games. He missed the first 1 or 2 as he was kind of coming back from that 2020 injury. So 2019, he was getting the ball. How many targets did he had? He had 133 targets, and that was kind of third most in his entire career. And we saw 4 great seasons with the Giants. So, Baker Mayfield and company was trying to get OBJ the ball. Then Kevin Stefanski comes in. He unfortunately gets injured, and this season kind of missed the first couple of games. So I don't want to put all the blame on Baker Mayfield of not getting him the ball. He wasn't injured. He was injured last season. Wasn't really kind of a huge part of the team that kind of went deep into the playoffs, decently deep in the playoffs. So I don't know, is OBJ good? Does all the blame deserve to be on Baker Mayfield? Kevin Stefanski, was he not scheming OBJ open? It's hard to tell with OBJ just because of his kind of overall attitude. I mean, we're getting kind of conflicting reports about, what people are saying about OBJ in the locker room and all that, and then teammates are kind of coming out. I saw like a tweet of Greg Newsome saying none of that is real, about OBJ kind of just coming in and not saying anything to anybody, and just kind of, doing his own thing. And then Greg Newsome, the rookie, was like, nah, that's all cap and that's a lie. So I don't know what to make of OBJ leaving. I still believe Baker Mayfield. I believe in Baker Mayfield. I believe in Kevin Stefanski. So we'll see if this team plays a little bit freer, a little bit looser out there. We know OBJ wants the ball, and we don't knock OBJ for wanting to get the ball. He's a great talent. He's a great athlete. Is he a great teammate? Does he always buy in? Does he get a little bit more vocal than he should? Having LeBron James speak out and his dad speak out, was that unprompted, or did OBJ kind of help prompt that? Once again, we don't know. We'll probably never know that answer, so we won't get the kind of the whole body of work that we need to truly gauge if OBJ, was hindering the team, or was he a huge part of the team and the team wasn't getting the ball? How was he as a teammate? Was he demanding the ball? We don't know, and so it's going to be hard to gauge it, but we'll just have to kind of see what the Browns are without OBJ and now what the Browns are without OBJ as we move forward. But OBJ no longer with the Browns. And then the Saints have made a decision at who the starting quarterback is going to be. We just watched Trevor Siemian yesterday in our film study, and we really did not want to see him this week. His accuracy was really not on the money. He has a little bit of a deeper arm. I think we clocked it at 38 yards in the air. That's all we could really see, but we know the Saints offense doesn't push the ball down the field. So if they don't push the ball down the field, then I say go to Taysom Hill, because he can't push the ball down the field more than 45 yards, but the Saints offense doesn't do that anyway. So you get kind of that dual threat quarterback out there in Taysom Hill, who's got the accuracy cleaned up, who can make all the throws on the field. Trevor Siemian, is he going to be good again now that there's tape on him? We watched the tape. The completions were really all his fault, not being accurate. And once again, it's not like the Saints offense won the game. Tom Brady turned over the ball 3 times, and the offense took advantage of that, so that's great. But one was a pick six. Was it a pick six at the end? Either way, they were setting up. They got set up in short field, and then the Saints offense took advantage of that. But overall, it was really the defense to really force those takeaways. So I don't know if I believe in Trevor Siemian. They've got the Falcons this week. We'll see if Sean Payton made the right choice, but I don't think that's what our decision would have been if we were in charge of making the decision. So Trevor Siemian is the starter, and OBJ no longer with the Browns, folks. Alrighty, now let's head over to the Thursday night game from last night. Jets at the Colts, and it started to be a really close game, 7-7. Trevor Siemian taking them down the field and making some real great throws. 26 yards to Elijah Moore, and then throwing to Elijah Moore 19 yards on the very next play for the touchdown. The rookie wide receiver getting it done, and they made it 7-7, but then Mike White gets knocked out of the game. They have to bring in Josh Johnson, and the game started to kind of get out of whack a little bit. The Colts just kept scoring and scoring and scoring. I mean, look at these drives by the Colts, folks. First drive, touchdown. Second drive, touchdown. Third drive, touchdown. Fourth drive, touchdown. Then we're at halftime. Every single drive in the first half, a touchdown. And we've seen that a couple of times this season, maybe only once. The Chiefs, we talk about it all the time, scored on every single possession a touchdown besides the interception. So the Colts offense was really, really great in the first half. And why was it really, really great? Because of the running game. And this is what the Colts should have been all season long, more of a run-dominant team out here. Jonathan Taylor, 19 rushes for 172 yards, broke one big for the touchdown. He had 2 touchdowns as well. Nyheim Hines, 6 carries for 74 yards and a touchdown, broke one for like 30 yards. He got the team going scoring-wise. 34 yards was the first touchdown for the Colts. They go up 7-0. And then no Marlon Mack this game. A healthy scratch. But once again, this Colts team, the best thing about it is their running game. That's why we didn't really want to see them trade Marlon Mack, and that's why we're still glad Marlon Mack is on the squad. But we want to see really this Colts team be a run-heavy team. They've got the line for it. I mean, did you see the line last night? I mean, they were getting so much push. I mean, Jonathan Taylor averaged 9 yards a carry. Nyheim Hines averaged 12 yards a carry. I mean, what more do you want? Running back by committee over 250-ish yards, average, about 10 yards a rush every time they wanted. So this is what we want to see out of the Colts offense more consistently. Running the ball, chewing up the clock, controlling the game, and keeping the ball out of Carson Wentz's hands because he makes some bad throws. He kind of aired it out a couple of times this game, at least once. And it should have been picked. It fell incomplete, luckily, but that's just what we get from Carson Wentz. We really need to start thinking about Carson Wentz as a game manager, a potential above-average game manager. But to do that, you need to run a little bit more consistently and a little bit more aggressively out here. We had, 25 rushes officially by running backs here. Carson Wentz took off 4 times as well. So I just want to see more rushes here with this Colts team, get a little bit more creative in the offensive play calling, and start utilizing all 3 backs in one game. You've got them. Let's use them. Obviously, the Colts teams rarely kind of stick with 3 great running backs. The Ravens did it last season, but what happened in this offseason? They trade one of them. Mark Ingram, you're out of here. And then they're back to only having 2. So, this is the year just to kind of use the running backs over and over and over again because you're most likely not going to keep all 3 next season, so just use what you got. People love to just use up running backs and then throw them to the dumpster, so why are the Colts not doing it here? So we'll see if this Colts team changes anything. This Colts team doesn't really change anything in our mind after the win. They blew out the Jets. Congratulations. I mean, this was one of the easier games of the Colts schedule, and it took their starting quarterback getting knocked out of the game for y'all to really kind of blow open the lead. So, we'll see what the Colts are going to be doing for the rest of the season here. They're on Hard Knocks. That's starting in a couple of weeks here. Hard Knocks in season with the Colts. It should be interesting to see, what everybody's saying. We loved seeing the Cowboys in Hard Knocks in the preseason, and now we're getting a Hard Knocks in season special of the Colts. So we'll see how their operation is kind of working from the inside, what their offense mentality and mantra is all about, what is the team collective looking like, and all that. So it's going to be a nice inside look when that starts, and we will definitely start breaking that down on a weekly basis once those episodes come out, like we did in the offseason with the Cowboys Hard Knocks. But I really just want to see the rushes going at it. This is the best part of this Colts team. Carson Wentz is good. He's good, but he doesn't win you the game so far for the Colts. So Carson Wentz goes 22 of 30 for 272 yards. Let's get that completion percentage up. 22 of 30, we get 73% completion percentage, 272 yards. Wasn't dinking and dunking on 22 completions, so all that was good. This was Carson Wentz's maybe best game, but once again, it came against the Jets defense. So this Jets defense, they were giving up everything, the passing, the running game, getting exposed truly by the running game, and the Colts took advantage on every single drive here in the first half, so we give them credit. 3 touchdowns for Carson Wentz, no interceptions. They didn't lose any fumbles. We had Jonathan Taylor fumbled once, Michael Pittman Jr. fumbled once, and no problem, never lost any, so didn't turn over the ball. That was good. And then in the second half, they were still putting up points on the board, not as kind of consistently as they did in the first half. They went first drive, they took it all the way down to the Jets' 2-yard line, 4th and goal, they couldn't get it. Why not be aggressive? You're up 18 points. Yeah, you don't need the 3 there, so I've got no problem with the play here, and then they just try to have Jonathan Taylor direct snap, and that's, once again, who are you trusting on 4th and 2, something like that? We're going to trust our running backs. 4th and goal from the 2, they trust their running back, Jonathan Taylor, direct snap. We don't even want Carson Wentz handling the ball there. Then they go down and score a touchdown off of a big ol' run here by Nyheim Hines to kind of get him into great territory. So once again, the running game really setting up a lot of these kind of scores in great field position. They scored a touchdown on the next drive as well, 78 yards for Jonathan Taylor. Once again, really kind of icing it out, and they their largest lead was 42-10. And then we get the Jets to come back, and their comeback was okay overall. We're not going to put that much weight into it because, in garbage time, we don't really care what you do in garbage time unless you come back and win the game. Then we will kind of count that highly of you coming back. But if you try to come back and you still lose by 15, we're just not going to count these 3 drives as that impressive. You were already down 42-10. The Colts defense is just trying not to give up the big play. We had an 8-play drive, 75 yards that chewed off 3 minutes, a 12-play, 66-yard drive that chewed off 5 minutes, and a 16-play, 70-yard, 4.5-minute drive. That's the 3 touchdowns that the Jets had to kind of make it a little bit more competitive in the final box score. But the Colts defense just didn't want to give up the big play. 12 plays, 16 plays, 8 plays, driving the field. So that was good by the Jets to kind of dink and dunk their way down the field. But once again, they lose by 15 points. Nothing really great there. Who did Carson Wentz throw the ball to? Michael Pittman Jr., 5 catches for 64 yards, a touchdown. Zach Pascal, 4 catches, 58 yards. Finally starting to really utilize these receivers out here. No T.Y. Hilton, and he's going to his other kind of good wide receivers here, Michael Pittman and Zach Pascal. And then Nyheim Hines, the 3rd leading receiver, 4 catches for 34 yards. Mo Alley-Cox, 1 catch, 28 yards. Jonathan Taylor, 2 catches, 28 yards. We had Kalen Granson, 1 catch, 27 yards, and Ashton Doolin, 2 catches for 23 yards as well. So Carson Wentz going to his primary receiver, spreading the ball around everywhere else, and it was a good overall game by the Colts. But once again, at home against the Jets, are we supposed to start buying this Colts team now that they beat the Jets? No. The running game was great. The running game here for the Colts was absolutely great. That's the best thing about the Colts, folks. All right, and then the Jets now. Truly unfortunate for Mike White. Drove the ball down the field right there. really on both the drives. The first drive, they were kind of going good, picked up a couple of first down, and then the drive just stalled there on 3rd and 6. Unfortunately, they have to punt. But then the very next drive, 10 plays, 75 yards, 3.5 minutes off the clock, going to Elijah Moore, the rookie wide receiver, and Mike White putting it right on the money a couple of times, and they put up 7-7. And who knows how this game would have went if Mike White was still out there, because Josh Johnson struggled a little bit to kind of move the ball, at least in the first half. And then, in the start of the second half as well, 2 straight punting drives, 5 plays, 7 yards punt, 5 plays, 5 yards punt. And these are actually 3 and outs, I believe, because they add a couple of extra plays in here because of penalties and all that. So they count those as plays, but either way, kind of 3 and outs there by Josh Johnson, not able to move the ball and pick up the first downs. And you definitely got to do that, especially when you're down big, down bad, because the Colts, like we said, were having their way every single drive in the first half. Touchdown, no problem. Moving the ball, running. And then the running game opens up the passing game, obviously, because they're trying to stop getting gouged after getting gouged. And that leaves open the passing game for Carson Wentz. So, Mike White, he went 7 of 11, folks. 7 of 11. 63% completion percentage, real solid. 95 yards, a touchdown. Didn't turn over the ball. Tied up the game. Fantastic. And then he gets knocked out. Wrist injury, forearm injury. I think they officially classified it as, but unfortunately had to kind of leave the game. And that brings in Josh Johnson. And, took a little bit to get going, but, he got it going in kind of the end of the third quarter, start of the fourth quarter, garbage time, because they were already down 42-0 or 42-10, excuse me. That's a big blowout, folks. Big old blowout. So Josh Johnson goes 27 of 41. We get 65% completion percentage, 317 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. The pick, unfortunately, real bad. The Jets had a chance to kind of backdoor cover the +10. Unfortunately, 1st and goal from the 7-yard line, he throws an interception, and it was really his fault. Yes. So the 1 interception there would have made it a 1-possession game. They get the onside kick, potentially recover, potentially tie, potentially go into overtime, potentially win in overtime, and that would have been classic Colts, right? Just blowing a lead, blowing a game that they should have won. That would have been classic. All right, running the ball wise, Michael Carter, 13 carries for 49 yards. Not the greatest, average 3.8 yards a carry, but, probably should have you can't run the ball because he got down. So Jets were in a tough spot here. We don't have our kind of starting quarterback in Mike White. And then, you can't really get the ball going on the ground because you're down big, bad, down 18 points going into halftime, down 3 scores. Can you really afford to run the ball here? Can't really afford to make any mistakes on defense if you're just going to run the ball in the second half down by 18, because once that Colts team scores another touchdown, and you've got to, once again, go to the passing game because now you're probably down again 3 scores, 4 scores, whatever it is. All right, and then who was Josh Johnson and Mike White throwing to this game? Elijah Moore, leading receiver, 7 catches for 84 yards and 2 touchdowns. Keelan Cole, 5 catches, 66 yards. Jeff Smith, 3 catches, 40 yards. Who is Jeff Smith? Is this man a tight end? Wide receiver. Never heard of this man, but still going to his wide receivers. Ty Johnson, 2 catches for 40 yards. Jamison Crowder, 5 catches, 38 yards. Tyler Kroft, 2 catches, 38 yards. Michael Carter, 1 catch for 37 yards. Ryan Griffin, 4 catches, 28 yards, a touchdown. Denzel Mims, 1 catch, 20 yards. And Trayvon Wesco, 2 catches for 16 yards. So this is real promising as well if you're the Jets, going to your wide receivers, going to your weapons. Unfortunately, no Corey Davis last night, how would have that impacted the game as well, of having that really great A1 tier 1 wide receiver out there. But this is real good of these backup second and third string quarterbacks not just dinking and dunking to their running backs. Their 3 leading wide receivers were all actual wide receivers. They're good pieces. Number 1 and number 2, they had the most targets, 8 targets. So, but between Elijah Moore and Keelan Cole, they got it done here. So that's big props here to these Jets quarterbacks of trying and going to their weapons, not being afraid of the spot. Now, Josh Johnson coming in and looking good when he was kind of putting those touchdown drives together when everything started to click there. So overall, it was a good night by this Jets team offensively, just to kind of show, hey, whichever quarterback we have out there, they're able to get it done. And now that kind of comes into question, what's going on with Zach Wilson? Zach Wilson has not looked as good as Mike White did last week and what Josh Johnson was looking like when everything was kind of going right. If we just take the score out of it and Josh Johnson on those 3 straight touchdown drives at the end of the game, I mean, that was moving the ball. That was good, and we haven't really seen that by Zach Wilson. So now, what do we do with Zach Wilson after the game? Let's go to this one first. After the game, Robert Saleh on Josh Johnson's performance filling in for Mike White, who was filling in for Zach Wilson, said, quote, Josh, I thought he did an awesome job coming in, ran the offense exactly how it's supposed to be run. And Mike White ran the offense exactly how it was supposed to be run last week. That's why he threw for over 400 yards. That's why they won the game. So out of the 3 quarterbacks that they've had, has Zach Wilson ever ran the offense exactly how it's supposed to be ran? So now we've got this quarterback kind of controversy right here. Mike White obviously at the top, then maybe Josh Johnson, but what do we do with Zach Wilson? Do you go back to Zach Wilson? Do you go with Zach Wilson as your main man, giving what you just saw from Mike White? Is Mike White the real deal? Once again, truly unfortunate that we couldn't really confirm that last night because he went down really early in this game, but before he went down, went on the touchdown drive and tied up the game. That was looking real promising. So, unfortunate injury by Mike White. Maybe we will know. Maybe Robert Saleh will be like, you know what, we will go with Mike White instead of Zach Wilson. We'll let Zach Wilson kind of continue to learn because we really haven't gotten anything great out of Zach Wilson. And the glimpse and a quarter, I should say, that we got from Mike White, it was looking real promising. So, Robert Saleh praising the second and third string quarterback, saying they're running the offense exactly how it's supposed to be ran. Has he said that about Zach Wilson so far this season? I don't know. I don't think so. And then Mike White, he's ready for the opportunity if it comes again. Mike White on the arm injury says, quote, we'll be fine and I'll be able to play again if my number's called. So he's like, hey, I'm here if y'all need me, guys. If you don't want to go back to Zach Wilson, hey, I'm here. Once I'm good to go with my arm injury, hey, I'm still here. I want to ball out. I want to prove that I can be the starter here in this league. And it's going to be, it's well done by Mike White. Now there's a lot of intrigue in the man. So, come next season when a team's looking for a quarterback or a backup quarterback or looking for somebody to push a rookie or another quarterback in a quarterback competition in the offseason, Mike White could get a call, and the Jets could capitalize on getting a draft pick out of him. Probably obviously not a first round pick, maybe not even a second round pick, maybe not even a third round pick, but a solid maybe 4th, 5th, 6th round pick for Mike White. So a lot of decisions, a lot of options here for the Jets. And once again, it's going to come down to Robert Saleh. What is this man all about as a head coach? Can he get it done? Is he making the right decisions and all that? It's the job of the head coach, folks. Do you go back to the rookie that you just drafted, or do you go back to a quarterback that has proven results in this league? It's going to be tough. We'll see what Robert Saleh decides to do. And then on the flip side here of the Colts, Frank Reich on Carson Wentz's big Thursday night said, quote, Carson Wentz was freaking flawless tonight. Flawless. Alrighty, we get Carson Wentz's best game because of the running game had its best game. Is this the Colts' best running game right here? Let's look up what this Colts team has been doing. Running the ball here this season, comparing it to what they did this season, and if that's or what they did last night, and seeing if that's the reason why they won was because of the running attack. So, alrighty, let's see how many carries they had in this game quickly. And then I want to read these Frank Reich quotes, but is Carson Wentz's best game all set up because of the rush? Let's see what these official numbers are. So here we go. Total rushes. We get total rushes anywhere? Is it updated on this website now? Okay, yeah. Yes, here we go. All right. So, how many rushes overall did they have? They had 30 rushes. All righty. How many times have they had 30 or more rushes this season? They rushed 30 times week 1 and lost. Unfortunately, they lose 28-16. They had 30 rushes for 113 yards. Then in week 4, they had 33 rushes for 139 yards, and they beat the Dolphins by 10. Then they had 33 rushes again in Week 7 against the 49ers for 148 yards, and they had 30 rushes last night for 260 yards. Absolutely their best rushing attack, and they win. So 4 games of 30 or more rushes, and they go 3-1 in that span, and they probably would have went 4-0, but the first game was the first game of the season. That was their loss. So if you run the ball a lot here with the Colts team, they win. Correlation, causation, folks. I'm saying it's causation. You run the ball with this Colts team, you win, because that's the best thing about it. And then once again, the yards, 260 yards rushing, the most by far. They're second most rushing yards in a game was 174, and that was against the Texans, and they win that game. Causation, correlation, folks. I'm saying causation. You run the ball, you make the running a priority. We know it works, and that wins you the game. Colts should become a power running game, like with Derrick Henry, 28, 33, 35 rushes of the game, making that your staple, setting up the play action. You can do so much offensively once the running game gets going, especially when you got 3 great running backs that are all interchangeable and coming in every other snap, fresh legs, and that's why you make the defense pay, because you're rotating your running backs with fresh legs, while the defense is like, man, we're sucking wind out here. And then that just opens up the screen game, the wide receiver screen game as well, the play action game, which helps out Carson Wentz. So Colts, please start becoming a run dominant team and stop looking to kind of not play Marlon Mack. Just play all 3 of them. You've got nothing to lose. Do or die this year with your running backs, and then maybe trade one this offseason. I would still keep the 3, but we know teams don't keep 3 really great running backs, folks. They just don't. You sign me up as a head coach, I'm getting 3 running backs, and I'm a powerhouse running team. I'll keep 4 running backs. Shit. I'm signing every single running back. I'll have 5 running backs deep, and we will just run and run and run and run and run and run. Fresh leg, screen, and we're running, folks. So that's what I want this Colts team to be, folks. Look at all these great performances. When they ran the ball 18 times, they lose by 11. Or 9, but it's still a loss. When they run the ball 20 times, they lose by 3 to the Titans, unfortunately, last week. So you run the ball a lot, you win the game. How hard is that? Colts, figure it out. Figure it out. Get the ball out of Carson Wentz's hand and into the running back's hands. Look at these attempts. When they beat the Texans, Carson Wentz threw the ball 20 times. When they beat the 49ers, Carson Wentz only threw the ball 26 times. Last night, they only threw the ball 30 times. Those were his 3 lowest totals, folks, and they all resulted into wins. When Carson Wentz throws the ball 51 times against the Titans, they lose. When he throws the ball 37 times against the Titans, they lose. Why did you do the same game plan over and over again against the same team? You're going to lose. So start running the ball more. 260 yards last night, folks. Absolutely fantastic. 3 touchdowns as well. They can score while running the ball. We know this. All right, now let's see what Frank Reich has to say about this great, flawless performance by Carson Wentz. And I don't know if I would call this flawless. He has 8 incompletions. We'll see those. Maybe we'll watch those on a Thursday film study or something. We'll see. Or a Wednesday film study. Getting our days mixed up. All right, so let's read what Frank Reich has to say. We got a lot of quotes here. I just want to see the Frank Reich ones. All right, here we go. Wentz took the brunt of the blame for the Titans' loss due to 2 late turnovers. Once again, Carson Wentz doesn't get it done in the clutch. Rely on the running game. They do get it done in the clutch. Run, Colts, run. Wentz took the brunt of the blame for the Titans' loss due to 2 late turnovers. On Thursday, he shared in the spotlight with Taylor as Wentz turned in a 22 of 30 night, passing for 272 yards and 3 touchdowns with no interceptions. He also had a 134.3 quarterback rating that we absolutely care zero about. We hold quarterback ratings QBR weight 0. We do not factor that in. I do not care what your algorithm says about his passing. I will be my own algorithm. That's why we go into our Wednesday film studies to see what these passes are looking like and if they're on the receivers or the quarterbacks and stuff like that. I don't care about QBR. Quote here by Frank Reich: Carson Wentz was freaking flawless tonight. Flawless. Complete command of the offense today. He played really good football. So is this just a start for this Colts team? Are we wrong of selling the Colts real early on? Did they just need a couple of games under their belt with a new quarterback to get everything acclimated? Or is it truly just a rushing team? I'm putting my money on that it should just be a rushing team. I mean, once, like we said, these last 2 seasons here for the Colts, they've just been a plug-and-play quarterback away. Phillip Rivers last year, that's a perfect plug-and-play quarterback. We thought Carson Wentz could be a perfect plug-and-play quarterback, but their record so far, a little lackluster for what this team really has on their roster, talent-wise, especially at the running back position. They had Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines, and Marlon Mack, folks. One was a little banged up last season, but overall they still had those 3 great talents, and now they are kind of using them this season, kind of all 3 of them. So I run the ball here, but we'll see. We'll see Hard Knocks as well to see if that's kind of the direction they're heading as well. All right. Is that the only quote here by Frank Wright? I wanted something else by the man. Who's talking right here? Who is this? That's Wentz. What does Wentz have to say? Let me see what Wentz has to say about this. Let's read some Carson Wentz's quotes. What does he have? Is he big on himself for this game? Is he kind of hyping himself up, being like, yeah, I'm the best quarterback of all time? Let's see. After barely completing 50% of his passes and throwing 2 disastrous interceptions the week before, Wentz was able to put that behind him in Thursday night's stellar showing. Oh, congratulations, you did it on Thursday night at home against the Jets. Congrats. Once again, I'm not going to be over buying this Colts team. I mean, if we have to kind of put a new percent, I think we were buying this Colts team maybe like 40% heading into this game, and after this game we're buying them 42%. I mean, we're not buying this Colts team that much more because you beat the Jets on Thursday night. I don't think that's right. You just lost 2 times to the Titans, your division rival. I mean, and last week, I mean, that was really to kind of keep pace in the division now, because now, I mean, you don't even have the tiebreaker against the Titans anymore, and now you're down big bad. What do we got here? Officially about 3 games behind. They got games behind? They don't got games behind here? Yeah, they're about like 3 games behind this Titans team for first place of the division. So you couldn't get it done last week when it was do or die. Carson Wentz, ball in his hands, interceptions, multiple chances in overtime, interception, not getting it done. Bailed out by the pass interference like we saw, so still not buying Carson Wentz, but let's read this quote. Back to the quote. Here we go. Quote, had no choice when you play a Thursday night game. I watched it that night and woke up Monday morning and it was on to the Jets. That's the same mindset I had and everybody else had. We know it was big, emotional loss last week, but we had to flush it quick and turn around. I'm happy with the way we came out today. I'm happy that I was able to rely on the rushing game and that they helped me flush out the bad game with a good game this game. I thank the running backs. I thank all 3 great running backs. Even though Marlon Mack didn't play last night, I still thank him, because if I'm the Jets, I'm still looking over to the sideline like, are they going to dress that man up at halftime? I'm still like, these other running backs are giving me nightmares. I want Marlon Mack out here. I'm begging. The Colts had the Jets begging for Marlon Mack to come into the game last night. All right, one more quote here by Carson Wentz. We'll see what this is all about. Here we go. The 78-yard score was the second longest run of the NFL season so far, with an 83-yard gallop by Taylor earlier in the year still tops the list. So Jonathan Taylor has the 2 highest single rushes in a game this season. 83-yarder, 78-yarder. This is a running football team, folks. This is not Carson Wentz's passing team. Quote here by Carson Wentz, quote, "When I can turn around and have one-play drives, I think Jonathan Taylor took it 75 or something like that. Those are the best drives in football for a quarterback." Yes, absolutely. Carson Wentz should be begging for that. I don't want to throw this ball. I'll turn it over. Jonathan Taylor, just take it. 90 yards, please. You can just turn around and give it to the guy. Whatever the total number, 200-plus rushing yards today. Jonathan Taylor, both him and Nyheim Hines. Then some screens from the backfield, and those guys played unbelievable. Once again, sets up the screen game, makes it easy for Carson Wentz. Inflated numbers by Carson Wentz. What do we got here? Let's go back to the official numbers here. I want to subtract yards to running back. So 4 catches by Nyheim Hines for 34 yards. So now we're at, let's officially, I'm not just going to ballpark it. Let's bring up the calculator. 272 yards minus 34 for Nyheim Hines. Now we're at 238 on 18 completions of 26 attempts. Keep that in mind. 18 of 26 now, since we're subtracting the 4 catches by Nyheim Hines. And he had 6 targets. Oh, excuse me. So we have 18 completions on 28 attempts, because we have to add the 2 drops there. And then Jonathan Taylor, 2 catches for 28 yards. So we subtract 28 yards there. Now we're only at 210 yards on 16 of 26. So just taking running backs out of the game, folks, Carson Wentz went 16 of 26 for 210 yards. Still decent. What's 16 of 26? Completion percentage-wise, 61%. So you see he was at 70%, 70 plus, right? 70 plus, 22 of 30, 22 of 30. 73, and he drops all the way down to 61, not targeting running back. So the screen truly helps out. The running game truly helps out Carson Wentz. So I'm not saying, I'm not doing this as like, oh, Carson Wentz is trash and this Colts team is absolutely trash. I'm just putting the numbers a little bit more in perspective. Having to kind of utilize all of your receivers, if the running game was a little lackluster, would Carson Wentz be able to win this game single-handedly? We saw that last week. No, he can't. Running game, a little lackluster, not even 100 yards. He throws 2 interceptions, multiple chances in overtime into the fourth quarter, and he blows it. Bailed out by the penalties again. So still not buying this Colts team, folks. Still not buying them. So that was Thursday Night Football last night, folks. We are not buying the Colts. What's the reason to buy the Colts? Give me one reason. The running game, I agree. Yes. Run the ball. Defense, solid. Passing game, it's okay. So Jets lose 30-45. We'll see what they do with the quarterback, and we'll see what the Colts do with their offense moving forward. Run the ball. Whoever's calling plays over here with the Colts, run the freaking ball. Run it 30-plus times a game. You have 3 great running backs. All should be getting 10 carries. All of them. See what they can do. Colts win 45-10. Alrighty, the last thing that we have to do today is make our official Week 9 picks. Alrighty, and I said earlier in the show, folks, we are feeling super, I don't know if this is crazy or confidence or whatever it is, but there's just a lot of value this week that I think is some good value overall. Vegas, I don't know what Vegas is thinking, but just how this week has played out with all the stories and the trade deadline and all the kind of backup quarterbacks last week playing really great and all that. We feel confident on 11 picks, folks. We usually only do 6 picks, maybe a bonus pick, but we're doing 11 official picks, folks. You can use this against us. We're not going to make any excuses and be like, well, we just picked 11 picks, so that's why it was low percentage picking wise this week of all that. But we're feeling good, folks. There's a lot of great things, I think, that we can score this week. So 11 official picks coming at you. Let's remind y'all what we did last week. We have locks and 99% guarantees. Our 3 locks last week were Falcons -3. They lose by 6. And that's what we said. The last time we ever kind of buy back into the Falcons. They always screw us once we finally get on the Falcons train. Finally got on the Falcons train a little bit last week, and they bite us right in the butt. Titans +3. Can always cash in with the Titans. Always our favorite bet right there. Titans +3. They win by 3. Bingo, bango. Then we had the Jaguars +7. Silly us believing in Urban Meyer off the bye, folks. They lose by 24. And then in our 99% guarantees, we had Bengals -11. Once again, the backup quarterback is getting it done. What wild. You can't even, nothing matters in the league when you bet. Nothing matters, folks. We had Bengals -11. They lose by 3. The defense gave up everything to backup quarterback Mike White. Crazy. Then we had the Bucks -4.5, one of Tom Brady's multiple turnover games, and we know we get a couple of those. Just an unfortunate week to bet the Bucks. They lose by 9. And then we had the Patriots +4. They beat the Chargers. They win by 3. Bingo, bango. So we went 2 of 4 officially last week. And once again, I mean, we have a lot of confidence. Is it confidence this week, or is it just not smart? We'll see on Monday. But I'm feeling good about the picks here this week, folks. I think it's really good value all across the board. And if we have our finger on the pulse here in the NFL, which we think we do, we're going to hit this week, folks. And we've got 11 picks coming at you. So let's stop the talking and start picking, because we got 11 games to pick. Y'all ready for this? Here we go. So once again, we're going to be breaking these down into our categories. So let's start with our locks section, folks. You can bet whatever you want on these. These will hit. Did you not just listen to what we just said? Last week, we went 1 of 2 on our locks. You can bet whatever you want. These always hit, folks. So here we go. Our 3 locks coming at you. First one up, we're going Cowboys -10. Dak's back. They won without Dak. Looked good. The defense is great. Dak's at home. This is going to be a big game for the boys, folks. The boys are back in town, baby. Cowboys -10. Broncos. They can't do anything good. They can't do anything good offensively at home. They can't do anything good offensively facing a not great team overall. They just don't move the ball. And now this Broncos team has to go into the boys' stadium there, folks, against this Cowboys defense. Teddy Bridgewater, I wish you a lot of luck, because you're going to need it. The Broncos also traded Von Miller at the trade deadline. Is that a little bit of a signal of kind of mailing in the rest of the season? Traded one of your best defensive players. Maybe kind of phoning it in, calling it in for the rest of the season. We'll see. But I just can't buy Teddy Bridgewater against this Cowboys defense. The Cowboys defense is going to set up the Cowboys offense in great field position with the turnovers and the stops and all that. And Dak Prescott looking to kind of say, all right, Cooper Rush, you had your time in the limelight, but it's my team again. And I'm ready to kind of prove and erase kind of your stats that you had last week. I'm going to erase that from all the Cowboys' mind, because I don't need any quarterback competition, any quarterback controversy going over here in Dallas. So I'm taking the Cowboys -10. They're at home. Everybody's fresh. They're ready to rock. The Broncos offense, it's going to be a tough day. It's going to be a tough day for them. Cowboys -10. Feeling real good. All right, next pick in our lock section, we're going Ravens -6. Ravens off the bye, folks. Vikings, they can't beat anybody. They couldn't even beat the Cowboys without Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush, backup quarterback, filling in and beating the Vikings defense. And now this Vikings defense has to go on the road against the Ravens coming off of a bye. Good luck to the Vikings defense, and good luck to the Vikings offense. This is not a good offense. They've struggled. They floundered. They floundered against the Cowboys defense last week. That's a great defense. This Ravens defense is a great defense. And once again, the Ravens coming off of a bye, looking to really kind of get back in it. Nobody's been talking about the Ravens for the week because they were on the bye. Everybody, the Ravens want everybody to start talking about them again. And the Vikings, they don't win the big games. They don't win the close games. They look good overall in stats, but overall they always lose. There's no bye ability. There is zero bet ability in this Vikings team, and we get a really great team coming off of a bye. Yeah, we'll swallow the 6 here. Ravens -6. And then our last pick in our 99% guarantees, folks, are we crazy for putting this, or our locks, our last pick in our lock section, are we crazy for putting this in our lock section, folks? I don't think so. We're going Packers +7.5. I keep hearing all year long to the national media the Chiefs defense is trash, and now y'all just want to hand over 7.5 points to the Packers? I understand Aaron Rodgers is not playing, folks, but I mean, if backup quarterback play has told us anything these last couple of weeks, it's that it's real gosh dang good. And, teams that don't have tapes on quarterbacks can't play against those teams. Cooper Rush having an immaculate first game. Mike White having an immaculate first game. Josh Johnson just last night had a pretty good game statistically overall and kind of kept the game close once it started to get away from him. So I get the Packers +7.5 with this Packers defense against the Chiefs offense that turns the ball over and over and over and over and over again. I mean, Patrick Mahomes leading the league in interceptions. Everybody's fumbling the ball. The Magic is starting to kind of sway right back to center because we were like 80% great Magic, and the Magic is like, hang on. We got to get it closer to 50% here. This is good for now. Yeah, right here. We're making the Chiefs Magic 50-50 out. So, Packers plus 7.5 over the 7-point hook right there. I'll take that all day. Jordan Love plays game-managing quarterback. We get the great talent here of, Devontae Adams back this week. Jones in the backfield, all of that. And this Packers defense ready to pounce on any and all mistakes that Patrick Mahomes will inevitably make this week because he's inevitably been making it the last 4 weeks straight. So, Packers plus 7.5 I think is great value. Backup quarterbacks are taking over the league by storm. I think Trevor Lawrence Jordan Love will be able to get it done. Packers plus 7 against the Chiefs team that turns the ball over. Give me the points. Packers plus 7.5. So the 3 locks this week are Cowboys minus 10, Ravens minus 6, and Packers plus 7.5, folks. Alrighty, now let's head over to our 99% guarantees. Still feeling very strongly about these picks, but there is potentially one thing that could potentially maybe hinder the bet that throws it off. So here we go. Our first pick in our 99% guarantees, we're going Raiders minus 3. Of course. The only thing that's holding us back is the Henry Ruggs situation. That's it. Everything else, Rich Bisaccia coming off the bye, Derek Carr, all of this, the offense, high power, not even utilizing Darren Waller the last game, and they're still able to get it done. This Raiders team offensively is so gosh dang good. Now they lose Henry Ruggs. Real bad for the organization, bad just personally, people hanging around him and all that, and now they have to kind of put that out of their mind and play football this week. This is the only reason why they lose this week. If the Henry Ruggs situation messes with the Raiders' mentality. John Gruden, their mentality, once he got fired, that didn't really change the team, and they were able to win. So that's kind of why we're putting this in our 99% guarantees, because we still feel confident that the Henry Ruggs situation won't play into the Raiders' kind of psyche this week. And once again, Rich Bisaccia, I'm sure he's got this kind of team running under a tight ship here. I'm sure he had a great speech once John Gruden left. I'm sure he had a great speech to kind of refocus this team once the Henry Ruggs situation, played out. And then, just looking at the other side, the Giants. We don't know if Saquon Barkley is going to play. He got off the COVID-19 list, but the ankle injury is still a little bit of a concern there. Their wide receivers injured literally every single minute of every single game. One guy gets healthy, 2 more go out. Let's see what we have here. Sterling Shepard is doubtful. Kenny Golladay is questionable. John Ross is questionable. Saquon Barkley is questionable. Kadarius Toney is questionable. So, even if let's just say they all go, they will all get knocked out by halftime. So it doesn't even matter. The Giants defense is pretty solid, but so is the Raiders, and this Giants offense has just shown us nothing. They show us like one good drive here and there, and that is it. Jason Garrett cannot string along a full game of good offense together, especially like we've been saying, the receivers getting knocked out literally every second of the game. So I'm taking the Raiders minus 3 here, folks. The offense will rock. We weren't able to watch the Raiders last week because of the bye, and that just sucked. Not seeing the Raiders play this season just sucks, folks, because they're that good. Derek Carr had 3 incompletions the last outing. I think they'll be fine. Raiders minus 3. All right, our next pick in our 99% guarantees, we are going Patriots minus 3.5. Patriots defense against Sam Darnold. Advantage Patriots defense. Mac Jones against his Panthers defense, that's what is left up to question here, and that's why it falls in our 99% guarantees. But we think the Patriots defense can hold the Panthers to like less than 17 points, and then we just need Mac Jones to be game manager, which he has been. They've been putting up the points. They've been moving the football. Mac Jones is not doing anything too much, and he's just managing the game while making the big throws when he needs to. He's really playing absolutely exceptional football out here, where Sam Darnold, on the other hand, is not. He's turning over the ball. These receivers can't catch when Sam Darnold finally fires an accurate ball and not his dinking and dunking. And this Panthers defense is good. It's a good defense. Stephon Gilmore revenge game, all of that potentially plays into it. Once again, why we had the game in our 99% guarantee section. But overall, we just cannot count on the Panthers scoring the ball. Bill Belichick has history with Sam Darnold because he was with the Jets his entire career, so he knows how to stop him. He knows how to make him see ghosts. Wasn't that the opponent that that kind of game came out at? Sam Darnold sees ghosts. Wasn't that against the Patriots? Let me double check this. Sam Darnold sees ghosts. Remember that from last season, folks? 2 seasons ago, whenever it was? Sam Darnold seeing ghosts, he said. Who was the team against? What was this? Hang on. Was this it? Against the Vikings? Sam Darnold seeing ghosts compilation. They did this man dirty on YouTube. Damn. Let me see. When was this against the Patriots? Here we go. We'll get it right here. Sam Darnold seeing ghosts in scary showing on Monday Night Football. This was October 21st, 2019, and this was against the Patriots. So Bill Belichick can conjure up the ghosts here. That's the biggest kind of advantage in all sports. Conjuring up the spirits, conjuring up the ghosts to make Sam Darnold play like garbage. So, yeah, of course, we're taking the Patriots minus 3.5, folks. The ghosts are going to be out. The ghosts are free up now because Halloween is over. They've got nothing to do. The ghosts will be here in Carolina. The ghosts, folks, are loose. The ghosts are loose. Mac Jones gets it done. Ghosts are loose. Patriots minus 3.5. All right, and then our last pick in our 99% guarantees, we are going Saints minus 6. All righty, we don't love Trevor Siemian starting, but they're facing the Falcons, so any quarterback can get it done against this Falcons defense, no problem. Division rivals, all that. Saints at home looking really good. The defense can get it done. They forced Tom Brady into 3 turnovers. You're telling me Matt Ryan's not going to turn over the ball a couple of times here? I think they definitely get it done. Still no Calvin Ridley. He's still away from the team, I'm pretty sure. We haven't heard anything from Calvin Ridley this week, folks. The last thing we heard about him was like, yeah, all right, I'm out. Mental health, I don't really want to play here anymore. And Calvin Ridley is officially out, so they can't move the ball without Calvin Ridley. You couldn't move the ball against the Panthers defense, and the Panthers defense is good. We're not knocking the Panthers defense, but the Saints defense is right on par with this Panthers defense. Absolutely. Saints at home, we get Trevor Siemian as the starting quarterback. I think they'll be game managing, whichever quarterback they throw out there. It's just going to be a game manager quarterback. They're not going to push the ball down the field, but this Falcons defense, they could take advantage of like the shallow crosses and the shallow routes and break big because there is some nice speed on the Saints team overall. So can't buy this Falcons offense at all. We get the Saints here coming off of a good win against the Bucs, feeling themselves at home. We'll swallow the 6 here. Cannot rely on this Falcons offense one bit, folks. One bit. We bought them last week. We will never make that mistake again, and we are going the complete opposite here. Saints minus 6. So our 3 99% guarantees are Raiders minus 3, Patriots minus 3.5, and the Saints minus 6. Alrighty, but we've got more picks, folks. We've got even more picks because there's some other value I think we can take advantage of. So let's officially unveil our 98% guarantee section, folks. We feel very confident about these picks, but maybe 1 or 2 things that could potentially go wrong that hinders the bet. And honestly, why we have it in our 98% guarantee section is because the spread is not great value. We're going to kind of get potentially caught on some field goal losses if that's the case. So here's our 98% guarantees because the spread is right on the border of kind of how points are scored in the NFL. So our first pick in our 98% guarantees, we're going Browns plus 2.5 here, folks. Home team gets -3, and Vegas is telling you, hey, the Browns are still a little bit better than the Bengals. Division rivals here. These were kind of both the laughing stock of the AFC North over the last 10 years, and now they're finally starting to get it going and looking good. So a lot of kind of pride in this game. Bengals coming off of a really bad loss against the Jets. Browns coming off of a little bit of a bad loss against the Steelers last week. And I really think the whole OBJ mess of him being shipped out, I really think this is going to bring the Browns team together. I think it was great by Kevin Stefanski to see something and nip it in the bud really quickly. He saw this kind of, all right, we're not really utilizing OBJ. He's always a little banged up, always a little hindered last season. We don't really need him to win. We went, 11-5 last season without him. Yes, he's a luxury, but now he's starting to kind of make a little bit of a noise here. He's starting to get a little bit of angsty. His little bit of, and I hate using this word, diva. I really hate that. I truly don't mean that as a knock. It's just kind of the personality of a diva. We do get that glimpses of times from OBJ. We get LeBron coming to OBJ's defense. We get his dad coming to OBJ's defense. And now you're just leaving your quarterback high and dry, the team high and dry. Kevin Stefanski says, no, I'm nipping it in the bud right now. So for that, I praise Kevin Stefanski. Now we have a little bit of a weight off of Baker Mayfield's shoulders. When he doesn't target OBJ, the media kind of lashes out, the fan base lashes out, and now he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. And once again, this Browns defense is a real good defense, folks. So against this Bengals team, which once again, it's a little bit of a big time play offense. They always really have a big play that results into them getting points, and why they've kind of been putting up a lot of points, catching some teams off guard, winning some games that they probably shouldn't have won. They are doing that because of the big plays, and if this Browns team can lock up the big plays, this Bengals team may struggle to score out here. So we love the Browns here this week. I'm not going to fade the Browns. Once again, the whole national media and narrative and fan social media narrative is that this Browns team is trash. Baker Mayfield is trash. But look at the spread here, folks. Vegas is kind of saying, whoa. I think y'all got it a little bit twisted out here. Browns are only plus 2.5. That says on a neutral field, Vegas is like, yeah, neutral field, Browns plus 0.5 point. Now, it's not that significant. I'm not saying, this Browns team is so much better than the Bengals, but this Vegas is kind of also agreeing with us that, hey, don't get too caught up in the national media of this, of calling Baker Mayfield trash and this Browns team is trash. Don't fall too heavy into that. So we're taking the Browns plus 2.5. We're putting our money where our mouth is. We still have faith in buyability, bettability in this Browns team, and we're showing it here. Browns plus 2.5. Once again, not a bonus pick. I could have made this a bonus pick. I was thinking of making this a bonus pick, but I'm just going 11 picks. I'm going 11 picks out here, folks, because I'm feeling real good about our thinking, our narratives compared to the national media narratives, and seeing that Vegas is kind of agreeing with us on some of this. So I'm taking the Browns plus 2.5. All right, another pick here in our 98% guarantees. We are going Cardinals plus 2. Now, the Cardinals and 49ers have already faced earlier this season. Cardinals win by 7, 17-10. Trey Lance played that game, and Jimmy Garoppolo will be playing that game. So a little bit of a difference there. Both defenses really got after it. The Cardinals kind of came out hot and strong, and then they fizzled out. I mean, I think they put up, I can go back quickly to that game. I think the Cardinals put up like 17 points in the first 2 quarters, and then for the rest of the game they didn't put up anything. So the defenses for both of these teams were really, really good. And once again, division matchup, all that. Cardinals coming off of a really upsetting loss. Who was it that didn't turn around? I'm blanking on the name. The receiver that just didn't turn around to look for the ball. That's why they lose the game. So that was their first loss. They shouldn't have lost. All of that. Maybe, just kind of the fan thinking is, hey, Cardinals, they lost last week. Maybe they're losing it, but they really shouldn't have lost. Remember. But yeah, here we go. They put up 10 points. The Cardinals put up 10 points in the first half, and then they put up 7 points in the fourth quarter to really kind of win the game. So Cardinals offense is going to be kind of on their bullshit here this week. Everybody's going to be pinpoint top tip shape, and this defense can take advantage. Now, this 49ers defense could probably keep it a little close. Jimmy Garoppolo, we believe in him over Trey Lance, can keep the game close, but we get the Cardinals here by 2 coming off of a real tough loss. We got to take the value. I think this is a solid value here getting 2. Once again, it's in our 98% guarantees because you score by 3s and 7s. So tie game. 49ers hit a walk-off field goal. They win by 3. The 2 there doesn't cover, so maybe buy the extra half a point, full point here. But we think these teams overall can win, but we believe the games will be close. So last-second field goals ruins it. That's why it's 98% guarantees. And also for this next matchup as well, we're going to go the Eagles +2 here, folks. And really why we're doing this is this Eagles defense. We believe in this Eagles defense. The Chargers, these last couple of weeks have been losing a little bit here, and I think this Eagles defense can keep up that pressure for the Chargers to make it difficult for them to score. Justin Herbert turning over the ball a couple of times these last couple of games, and that's really the deciding factor. So this Eagles defense can get a couple of turnovers. We saw the Eagles offense last week. They put up 44 points, but they didn't really move the ball passing-wise. They ran the ball fantastic. So we'll see what this Eagles offense can do, but I'm really just focusing in on this Eagles defense, locking up the Chargers, keeping the game close, and we get 2 points here for the home team. Once again, potentially last-second field goal wins it for the Chargers. They win by 3. We don't cover the +2. So I love these picks right here, folks, but maybe just for a little extra security, bet the extra half a point, buy the extra half a point, buy the extra point there. But overall, I think it's good value here with these teams getting points right here. Just unfortunately under that 3-point hook, but still feeling good. Alrighty, but we got 2 more picks here, folks, and now we've got to unveil our 97% guarantee picks right here. Only 2 of them here, so let's round out our official 11-pick week here. And our first pick in our 97% guarantees, we are going to go the Titans +7. Alright, Titans versus the Rams. This Rams team hasn't faced anybody good these last 4 weeks, so they're feeling themselves, they're moving the ball, all of that. But what happens when they face a good team? The last good team that this Rams team has faced was the Cardinals. Remember what happened in that game? They kind of got blown out right from the rip. This Titans team, we are still believing this is a good team overall without Derrick Henry. The defense bends, but it doesn't really break. They kind of start locking it up in the red zone, and as the field shrinks, they kind of start to lock it up. So, and we know this Rams team can struggle. When they do struggle, they struggle in the red zone. So if this defense is bending and not breaking, locking it up in the red zone, this Rams team is settling for field goals instead of touchdowns, which kind of gives credit and bet ability for this Titans team +7. So, last good team they faced was the Cardinals. They lose 37-20, so lose by 17 points. Then they go on and face the Seahawks. Russell Wilson gets banged up. Then they go and beat the Giants. Congratulations. They beat the Lions. Congratulations. They beat the Texans. Congratulations. Now they're facing the Titans, their first real challenge in about a month. Are they going to be up to it? And how is this Titans team going to respond without Derrick Henry? I think they can be good game managers. I think Ryan Tannehill can keep it close, not kind of make any mistakes, and we're getting 7 points here. I think it's good value. We'll see what Adrian Peterson can do, and we'll see what Ryan Tannehill has to do, because I don't expect them to run the ball 28 to 30 times this game, and I believe in Ryan Tannehill to keep the game close and not make any mistakes. So I'm counting on this Titans defense to lock it up in the red zone. I'm counting on Ryan Tannehill to play above average game manager football, which we know he can play, and we're going to take the Titans +7 here. We're going to buy them, folks, still. They've been proving everybody wrong. We get 7 here. This is great value for a team that is winning games. If we're getting 7 with a team that is winning games, we're going to take the 7. I know Derrick Henry's not playing, but the spirit of Derrick Henry will still be there, and they will still be able to feed off of that. Titans +7. And then finally, our last pick of this week, we're going Texans +5.5. Now this spread has came down because it is official that Tyrod Taylor is playing. So we talked about this yesterday on the show. We saw the line at Texans +6.5, and then about I think it was literally like 20 minutes after we did the segment, they announced that Tyrod Taylor is gonna play, and the line drops from Texans +6.5 to Texans +5.5. So once again, exactly what our thinking is. Vegas is thinking the same thing. Tyrod Taylor makes this team work. Davis Mills does not. So I'm glad Tyrod's getting another chance here. No Devontae Parker for the Dolphins. So I know Will Fuller either. So once again, not having our weapons. The Dolphins running game is lackluster. The line is absolutely atrocious, and Tua has no weapons to work with, and the offense is super conservative in the play calling. Now, what is the only bad thing by this Texans defense? They give up the big plays, but we don't have to worry about that this week because no Will Fuller for the Dolphins, no Devontae Parker for the Dolphins, and the Dolphins offense just doesn't go deep. So the Texans defense won't get beat over the top here. They can keep it close. Tyrod Taylor back in action and wanting to prove that he can still be a starter in this league and be competitive in this league and lead this team to wins. The one game they won this season was with Tyrod Taylor week 1. Coincidence? No, folks. He gets it done. Texans getting plus 5.5 here. This Dolphins offense can't see it putting up that many points. Both teams only have one win here, but Tyrod Taylor is the difference maker here, and we're going to be betting on our man Tyrod Taylor. Texans plus 5.5. The Dolphins will not. I don't think they'll put up that many points here, folks, and they won't take the top off the defense. So this is an easy 5.5 points here that the game will overall be close. Give Tyrod Taylor his credit. So Texans plus 7 and Titans plus 7. And Texans plus 5.5 are official 97% guarantee picks. So what happens if we take all of our picks and parlay them together, folks? Saints minus 6, Cowboys minus 10, Patriots minus 3.5, Ravens minus 6, Browns plus 2.5, Raiders minus 3, Eagles plus 2, Packers plus 7.5, Cardinals plus 2. If we take all 11 of these games, the odds are plus 115,530. If we put $100 on this, folks, we are walking away with 115 grand. Are y'all ready to be 100,000aires just betting a measly $100, folks? We have our finger on the pulse here. We know betting in the NFL, and we are ready to cash out this week. The Takes by Fans Week 9 betting extravaganza, folks. $100. Y'all tell me you don't got $100. $100. Throw $100. What do you do with the $100 anyway? You buy this, you buy that. It doesn't do anything. It lasts a day. You eat with $100. You eat out $100, folks. Bet $100 for a huge potential profit here of $115,000. Maybe also buy some extra points, extra half a points on these plus 2s, plus 2.5s. Value will be brought down a little bit right here, but overall cashing out probably $90K, $100K maybe. Our betting extravaganza this week, folks. The only time in history, and we're a season and a half in with the NBA and the NFL, and we've never done anything this big, folks. We think with the entire storylines going around in the NFL, what Vegas has put the spread at, with our thinking of what we kind of figured out here with this overall league and what every team is, we're feeling very good. And this 11-teamer, folks, $100, $115K, that's what we're looking to cash in on. Alrighty, folks, those are our official picks. We are standing behind every single one of those picks this week, folks. Every single one we're feeling really good about. We've never felt this way before. So, we'll bet it. We'll bet it and cash out on our gut. We cash out on our guts, folks. 11-teamer right there. Alrighty, folks, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll be back live tomorrow, noon Eastern. We've got our favorite Saturday video to watch. And once again, we've got 11 teams betted on this week. So we'll see what the machines agree or disagree with in our thinking. We'll watch that video tomorrow and break it all down. We may set some bars as well tomorrow. On some performances that we need to see out of some teams and players to kind of buy them heading into next week. So we'll see. We'll talk about all these matchups a little bit more in depth as well tomorrow when we watch that video. Alrighty, we get anything breaking here? What do we get here? Anything breaking? Aaron Rodgers news coming out. I got to kind of see what's going on with that. Aaron Rodgers says, before the season, the NFL sent in a stooge to shame the Packers because they were 19th in the league in vaccination rate at the time. Rodgers says he stepped up and asked questions for the team. Players and coaches thanked him for that. So once again, folks, whatever your thinking is about the whole COVID-19 vaccination, not vaccination, please stop thinking that your thinking is the end-all, be-all, most logical, only way of thinking, folks. It's not. It's not, folks. Take everything. Y'all just get angry over nothing, and it's so frustrating, folks. This last week it's been absolutely annoying as heck watching social media, and I know usually social media is, but this whole thing with Aaron Rodgers, folks, can y'all please stop acting like your thought is the best thought and it's the most reasonable, and everybody else that doesn't think your way is stupid, doesn't know what they're talking about, conspiracy theorists and anti-vaxxers. Like, y'all please stop. Like, I just can't get over what y'all are thinking, what y'all are saying, actively saying and thinking. All right, we got a tweet thread here that I'll read quickly. Aaron Rodgers says on the Pat McAfee show that he's, quote, in the crosshairs of the woke mob right now. Quote, I'm somebody who's a critical thinker. Once again, we know this is what Aaron Rodgers truly thinks. Quote, for me, it involved a lot of study in the offseason. Quote, in April, the J&J vaccine got pulled due to clotting issues, so the J&J vaccine was not an option at that point. I mean, is that not true, folks? That was true. I mean, Aaron Rodgers said that he is worried about the possibilities of vaccine causing sterility. Rodgers now discussing his concerns about inhaling C2O during workouts while wearing a mask. Rodgers says his first symptoms were Tuesday night and then tested positive Wednesday. So he was symptomatic, quote, didn't feel great yesterday, but I'm feeling good today, Friday. Quote, what about my body, my choice? What about making the best decision for my circumstance? Quote, this idea that it's the pandemic of the unvaccinated is just a total lie. Quote, if the vaccine is so great, then how come people are still getting COVID and spreading COVID? A lot of going on here. So I just say, do whatever you want. Doesn't stop transmission, do whatever you want. All right, we're out of here now. All right, we're out of here. We're over it. We're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Noon Eastern, like always. All right, we're out of here, folks. Go make $115,000.